Hello, greetings, fellow simmers. So this is my second attempt at making a video due to the first round of me trying to make a video. I mean, I went through with the whole build, but I have really bad ADHD and I was in not a super great mood. So I didn't realize just how negative I was coming across. So I was halfway through editing and I was like, you know what? This is bad. This is real bad. This is not a great introduction to people. So here we are starting again. This time I decided to go with a speed build instead. The first video I attempted to do, I didn't realize just how difficult it would be to talk and try to build at the same time. I mean, I think that it probably would be difficult for anyone, but I think that the ADHD probably also wasn't helping the situation. So this time I've gone for a speed build instead. I'm not exactly sure how to edit this. This is my first attempt doing it. So we're going to give it a go. Hopefully all goes well. Hello. Okay, so all of the video footage from the other day, well, not the video footage, like the talking over the speed build, it's gone. And I've legit tried to restart this now probably a good like 15 times. So I'm just playing the speed build on a tablet just so that I know when to stop talking. I can't even focus enough to just like watch the speed build and talk about it because I'm trying to not like repeat anything from like the other portions of the video, and it's getting very hard to keep track. So I'm devastated. I'm just going to end up using like voice over this, and maybe I'll try to like, you know, poke back in to see what's happening at some point, just so I can kind of explain what's going on in the build. But anyways, I do just want to say, because I don't know if I mentioned it in the other portion of the video, that this is all being done on an Xbox. I do have, like, I've purchased through not Steam, but like the EA website itself, high school years, and the Growing Together pack. I bought them both early because I actually thought that I was going to be having a computer a lot sooner. Then you know, whatever. So I have like a lot of packs on the Xbox. I don't actually know now if I will be repurchasing all of those packs once I do get a PC, because that's a lot of money. And at least with a PC, I have the option of using CC. Whereas with an Xbox, I don't have that option. I know there's a lot of controversy with the kits and whatnot. And totally, you know, if you're playing from a PC, I can see how that would be kind of annoying. But somebody on Twitter did kind of point out the fact that they did make the base game free now. And so it's a business, right? They're going to need to be making money somehow. And so I'm assuming that this is, you know, how they're going to be making their money going forward is with the release of all these kits, right? But anyways, I'm super stoked about the kits because, yeah, again, I don't have option for CC, so I have no cute things unless I have the kits. What would be fantastic though is if they would release more in the kits, and also something else, just like I notice now through building and stuff, because I have so many packs, like it is very nice to have all the options. Don't get me wrong. I like having all the stuff, but I am kind of visually impaired. I am blind in one eye, and the other eye I need to wear either a contact or have my glasses. And so I guess not, the eyes is not the right thing. My one eye gets so tired so quickly when I'm building things. It would be nice if they could maybe do like a proper like category thing, like, you know, categorize like the clutter and stuff like that. And it's, you know, because you have all the clutter mixed together. So there's stuff for like the bedrooms and the bathrooms and the living rooms, and all of it is just like thrown in together. And I guess it might be fine if it was all thrown in together, at least if, you know, when you were scrolling, all of the items that were like per page made sense to be next to each other, but I don't really find that that's the case. Oh, okay, so I'm just gonna pop back into the build here. It is a micro home. The home itself is a micro home, and it stayed a micro home all the way until the end. I think I do explain at the end when I do, like, you know, the actual tour of the building how you can make it go back to being a micro home. But anyways, so it's kind of like a modern-ish vibe on the outside. On the inside, it's more just kind of like zen and girly. I guess girly just kind of depends on whatever. It's zen and pink and soft and fluffy, not necessarily girly. Sorry, that's not what I meant to say, but you know what I mean. But anyways, the kitchen had started off as being kind of more neutral color, but it was actually the sink that ended up throwing me off really bad because I didn't like the gold that it was, and I felt like I couldn't use one of the silver sinks with the accent being gold on the fridge and the stove. So I ended up scrapping it. And then from there, the pink just kind of took over. And I'm fine with that. But anyways, so yeah, with the cluttered pieces in the kitchen and stuff, like I tried to keep it at a minimum after this because there's only like a few things in here, but trying to like find the clutter and then repositioning it because they don't have like the slots figured out very well on the stuff. Ooh, speaking of slots, sorry, ADHD. It's very cool that they have that for the bathroom stuff. I wish they would carry that over now to all of the other surfaces that have spots that you can like slot into, you know, like in the kitchen, on shelves, on desks, stuff like that, you know, because it's nice to be able to use cheats to get them where you want them to go, but not everybody is able to do that. Like, yes, on a console and on a PC you can use cheats to do it, but I mean like physically, like some people aren't able to mess around, you know, and fine tune things. So it would kind of be nice if the slotting situation was a little bit easier to use. Like if it made sense of, you know, where things could be put. But anyways, I don't remember what I was saying. I'm so sad that the footage is like gone. I am refusing to start this again though. I cannot. I don't know how many times I've restarted this, but it's not happening. I'm not doing it. But oh yeah, so kits. Yeah, everybody, like not everybody, but a lot of people are like, boo, kits, you know, do CC instead. I can't. So we've gone over that. Okay, so I kind of lost focus of where I was. But anyways, the reason why the shape of this thing is so wonky is because I've seen a lot of people do like realistic micro homes. And I'm sure like somebody's probably already even done this shape. I don't know. But I just kind of wanted to do something a little bit different because some of the builds that really stick in my head are the ones that people do that are just really out there. Like they just don't make any sense and they're kind of crazy. Those ones are really fun, I feel, to watch people build them. And they're really fun to build too. So I wanted to just kind of have fun with this one. The other video that I had attempted to like build and talk at the same time, which was way too difficult for me yet. Like it's too difficult right now. That one I had to use the terrain manipulator tool, and like although the build itself was something a little bit different, and you know it was the kind of more like, you know, it was more fun to do because it was different. It was also probably not something I should have been attempting for the first time on camera because, well, I mean, I guess it's not the first time. I have tried to use the terrain tool, like the manipulation tool before, but not to that scale. And actually, I think it was for, I was trying to like recreate a house that I used to live in where like there was a little bit of a hill and then you would get up to like the front patio sort of deal. And I couldn't even accomplish that. So I don't know if I've already mentioned, but the other build that I had tried to do was like a little hobbit house. And so that's like the whole thing was being encased by ground. And I mean, it did turn out pretty cute, but it was very difficult to figure out. It took a lot of fiddling. I had to do it while I wasn't recording my screen because I was getting so frustrated. But yeah, so I scrapped that one again because the mood was off. I think everything just kind of is going to need to be like perfect conditions for me to be able to do this and focus on it properly. Okay, so now we're coming to the part where I finally remembered that the reason I offset these cubes was so that I could make balconies. And of course, if you know, connect all of the sides while you're like drawing it in. I don't know how to say it other than drawing it, but if you connect all the sides while you're drawing it, then it counts it as a room. I remember watching a few years back, Lil Simsy was saying that, and that the way around that is to just do a portion of the fence like while you're not on the rest of the fence, and then you pick it up and you put it in place, and that kind of tricks it into thinking it's not a room. So that's what I did. I just drew the two sides and then copied the one side and then just placed it on the other side to enclose the balcony. But because you're placing it there instead of like drawing it in, it doesn't count as tiles used. So that's how I was able to keep it as a micro home with having 3 balconies all the way until I got to the end and then made that little greenhouse situation. So I mentioned obviously I'm doing this on an Xbox. I did attempt with that last like little Hobbit house build to retrain myself on the mouse and keyboard. I wouldn't say that I had fully retrained myself, but I did kind of get the hang of it. And I don't know, like for some reason when I was using the controller, because they really messed up the build by mode just recently. Like they did an update and they changed the build by mode and it's awful now. And so I was thinking to myself, well, maybe it would be a lot easier on the mouse and the keyboard, because when I first started playing The Sims, it was The Sims 1. I don't even know if you could build or whatever, but like I was used to the controls. So you get used to the mouse and the keyboard that way. And then I played The Sims 2 and I don't recall having any issues with the mouse and the keyboard. And then when I moved out, that's like around the time I think that The Sims 3 had come out, and the computer I had, now I don't know if it wasn't good enough to run The Sims 3. I do remember like we played World of Warcraft on that computer, and it didn't look very pretty, but it did run. So I feel like if it could run World of Warcraft, it should have been able to run The Sims 3. But for some reason, I did not have The Sims 3 on that computer. I attempted to get it on like the original Xbox. I do believe it was the original Xbox. And I absolutely hated it just because I wasn't used to using a controller to play that type of game. Like functionally, it just wasn't the same. It didn't feel right. And it takes me a long time to get used to things. And I remember for The Sims 4, I desperately wanted to play it. I wanted to play it so bad. My friend was showing me her game and like all of the mods she had for it. And she had some naughty mods and it looked really fun. But my computer is not good enough to run The Sims 4. So I let that go for a little while, for actually a long while. I think I had wanted to play, and I do believe I had purchased it on Steam when it was on sale. Obviously, it's on sale all the time. Well, and now it's free. But I was concerned about actually getting it on the Xbox because I recalled just how much I detested on The Sims 3 using a controller. And so I think I went like after a couple of years of like getting it, through Steam or whatever, and then never playing it and then really wanting to play it. I watched YouTube, and I want to say it was Deligracy. I really think it was. I watched a video of her trying to build on a console, and she was having such a hard time. But I remembered looking at it and being like, it doesn't look like you're struggling that much. It actually looks pretty easy. And so I think it was at that point that I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it and it's going to be fine. Either that or I had already downloaded it on the Xbox, but I hadn't played it yet because I was concerned about how the building would go. But anyways, I don't know. Just from like playing on the Xbox and then, getting used to it this way and then going back and trying to relearn how to do it with the mouse and keyboard, I would say that it's actually vastly easier to build with a controller. And so I feel like even if I do, well, I do want a computer, but when I get my computer, I think I'm probably going to get a controller that's compatible to work with, a PC and use that instead. Now that whole like alt placing and tilting and stuff, like I will still like use that. In this build, I did end up using the mouse for some of the turning of the objects because with the Xbox, I think anyways, I mean, I could be wrong, who knows? The controller, like you use the tabs, you tap on the tabs and they change the rotation, but they only do like, like half turns or whatever. It doesn't do like those little micro turns that you can get with the mouse. So the mouse, you definitely can fine tune things a lot easier. But I find for like going back into like the objects and stuff like that, it's so much faster with the Xbox. And I think for with the mouse and the keyboard to like reverse something you did. Obviously, it's like the same thing when you're like typing, you just do the Control Z. There's other ways that you can delete things or undo things with the mouse and the keyboard, but with the Xbox, all you have to do is hit the left trigger and it just keeps like reversing until you get back to the original state of what you were at. I find stuff like that, like it's a lot less time consuming. So I don't know. I kind of like using the controller. Anyways, we've come to, I think, the end of the speed build. Sorry, I didn't like stay super duper focused in it, but like I said, like I tried my best to look at it, but it was too hard for me to try to like, you know, in my mind picture like what it was that I was saying yesterday while reviewing the speed build, and it just kept tripping me up. So I had to keep my eyes off of the tablet for the majority of that speed build. So I guess I'm just going to leave it here because I did actually go in and have footage of me doing like a final tour. And so hopefully I haven't repeated anything. And I will send you back over to past me that thought everything was going fine and I'm in a much better mood. Okay, we're back in the game now. So it's this lot over here. So yeah, it's classifying itself as a tiny home right now. I forgot to kind of like mention the fact that there is a greenhouse on here. I want to say it, I think her name is Mita Sims. It's like Mitasims. I saw like one of her shorts or whatever. Love plants. So I can't help it. Like, even if that's not really my Sims MO, they usually end up having a greenhouse on their property. But anyways, on her shorts, oh, here, let's do this. Let's do this so we can actually see. Again, I'm so sorry. Like, now I'm going to be like moving around in the game and trying to talk. So here we go. So anyways, in one of her shorts, I think she just did like a 1x1, like it's just like a little 1 QB thing here, and then a door, and then like a dome just using the roof, like the domed roof, which I guess you would have seen it in the speed build. I was looking at it and then not even paying attention to it because I was busy blah, blah, blahing. But anyways, so this was a micro home, 32 tiles. This little thing right here, though, however, did add 2 tiles. And then when I tried to do that trick of like just removing one of the walls and then, you know, like picking it up and then moving it back in so it didn't classify itself as a room anymore, that did work. However, if you do it that way, apparently the roof cuts into the non-room and then you have no way of getting into the dome. So I was like, yeah, go me, I figured it out. And then not so much, because I couldn't get into it. So I had to put those 2 little tile thingies back. But there is a way around that. You can just do the 3 sides. I usually just do 3 sides, do the windows around the 3 sides, and then usually you'll have to use like your roof. Like, you know, you would use this rooftop up here and then put a roof on that little section and then just move it over, because if there's no platform there, then it won't give you the spot to put the roof on top of it. So if you just do the walls and then put the roof on somewhere else where you can put a roof and then move it over, then bada bing, bada boom, you have a greenhouse without having to have any tiles used up. So it's still possible. It just won't be a dome anymore. But I thought this was like so cute. I was like, oh my gosh, go you. They're so, oh, how come this thing's not painted anymore? I guess I forgot to paint it when I put it back. But yeah, that Mita Sims, holy moly, like the craziest builds. I'm like, where do you come up with this stuff? Insane. Love it. But also it kind of messed up this build a little bit. And then something else too, I realized after the fact is this poor girl has nowhere to woohoo. So you definitely can just go ahead and add in, oh, sorry for all the clicking in the microphone. I don't know how that's going to sound. Sorry about it. Is it in the bush? I think it's in the bush. Is it in the bush section? Yes, it is. I like the one, this one. This is not the one with the hearts, right? It's the other one. Oh, no. Oh, I love those. They're called bleeding hearts. Actually, I do like those ones. Yeah, you can just like pop like that. Now, I don't have it on my gallery. I don't know if anyone is even going to care enough to download it. So if anybody happens across this channel and you make it to this point and you would like it, I 100% like I will figure out how to do that. I've saved things to the gallery just like in my private gallery section, but I've never uploaded anything to somewhere where people can find it. I don't 100% even know what my my name is on there, but if somebody expresses an interest, I will post that information in the little description box thingy, and then I'll put it up there. Although I don't really have high hopes. This is just me spitballing, you know? But yeah, anyways, it totally can still be a micro home. You just need to kill that greenhouse and either do something else, like do something else on the lot, or just do another greenhouse that doesn't have a structure to it. Well, you know what I mean, like an official structure, like something that is taking up tiles. But anyways, so I've also never done like a like check out my build. So I'm going to do my best to stay on track here. I make no promises, but I'll do my best. I know this roof up here looks kind of, it looks kind of whatever. Like I said, by the time I got to this point, like my eyes were killing me and I'm not used to sitting for so long. Like when I'm playing, that time passes by so fast I don't even realize. But this was something where I was like, I want to actually like try to make it like, you know, kind of nifty. And I know some people are gonna be looking at this like this is child's play, but I mean, we ought to start somewhere, right? I have been playing again for about 4 years, but don't judge me. Anyways, so here's the kitchen. I did have to play test a little bit because like I play tested to make sure she could like get food and sit down and all that good stuff. But then she couldn't get up the ladder later on when I tried to have her go up and test something else that is no longer in the build because I thought that she couldn't get to it, or not that she couldn't get to it. Like I thought she could get up the stairs, but just couldn't get to the object that was up there. But it turns out she just couldn't get up the ladder. So I deleted it, but it didn't matter anyways because it was where the balcony door was going to be. So it's not a thing. So here's a cute little kitchen. And then up here, we have a little living room. I was going to put a coffee table, but then I started thinking like she's probably realistically not going to walk up this ladder to eat up here anyways. And secondly, like I have this unit here that does like the music and stuff, and she's not going to be able to, well, I mean, if she dances, I don't know, maybe she's a free spirit, so she might want to dance. And I figured she wouldn't have the option to dance if there was a coffee table in her way. So I left it nice and open. I thought these little fairy lights were so cute. Now, I mean, it is kind of clipping in the wall, but you can't see it from the outside, so it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. And then I just kind of kept everything samesies because I figured like in a real house or whatever this creation is, more than likely you're not going to have like a bunch of different doors. If you have like a bunch of different balconies, I'm assuming, I mean, I don't know anything about building. I'm not a builder. I do like my own like contracty stuff here because when you're broke, it's you. You know, if you can afford some materials, that's fantastic. Now you got to get to work. So I do my own stuff here, but I officially don't know anything about like real building. So I just left the balconies pretty much exactly the same. I really love this little plant stand. I love plants so much. I just love plants, but I got the kit with the plants, of course. And I'm definitely going to be getting the greenhouse one. I am all over that. And then I just have like a little yoga type thing, or I think it's for meditation, but I do believe that is part of the wellness the wellness thing. What do you call that? You know what I'm talking about. Sorry, can't think. Anyways, so next level, the bedroom. When I was building around, like at one point, like by accident, the desk had kind of gone sideways underneath the bed. And I kind of feel like I actually do like that better. But then I started thinking like it might be weird for you to have your back kind of where, I mean, it doesn't matter because it's The Sims. Oh, look at, I put a shelf there and I didn't put anything on it. I was so tired. I wanted to put, I think, little simmies. Simmies, and then I just didn't because I do believe you have to find them in debug. And Simproved, also love you, man. They had, I swear they're the only one that said be careful in debug, because there's some things that if you place them, they're just there, like you can't get rid of them. And now that like little plot of land it's kaput, like you can't use it. I did that with one of those little creepy dolls, that little possessed doll thing from Debug. And I put it down and I went back and I was like, oh, I don't want it there. I'm going to move it somewhere else. And it was stuck. It was just stuck there. So I had to pick the whole room up and bury it somewhere else so that it was no longer in the house because it would not allow me to delete it. So that was magical. I was like, I wish I had seen Simproved this particular video before I had messed around too much in debug and like totally ruined that house, because that was a house that I actually really liked. I think in the entirety of me building stuff in The Sims, there's only been like maybe 3 or 4 houses I've done where I was really actually genuinely proud of what I had done. And I actually quite like this one too. So I don't know. I like it. It's a bit of a mishmash because like I said, it was kind of, I mean, it's kind of got some modern vibes to it, but it's modern mixed with like cutesy, comfy. That's just kind of me. I used to be a total tomboy, and now the thought of like, well, that's not true because I like gardening, so I do kind of get my hands dirty. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Don't listen to me. Well, I mean, do listen to me, please. Stay. But anyways, okay. So bedroom, really cute, nice, calm Zen vibes. And then a little seating area out here. And I figure the sim is kind of like artsy. And so you can do some really cool paintings when you like, you know, from pictures and stuff like that. So I kind of put the camera out here so that you can take some pictures of something really cool that you see while you're people watching, and then you can paint it and then, I don't know, put it somewhere in your house. And then up here we have the bathroom. Now, it's The Sims, okay? So who cares? Yes, there's 2 windows here just because for me, when I saw like that Netflix thing of showing like those crazy houses, I remember one of the houses, it was like out in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in the desert, and there was just like windows everywhere, just everywhere. And I remember thinking that would feel so cool to feel like you're like seriously one with nature, but still be inside and protected. But then I also was thinking, you know what? Even if it was sincerely just out in the middle of nowhere and you have no neighbors and the potential of someone walking by are very, very slim, I still would probably have half of my curtains up, you know, like at all hours of the day, just always. And for sure, 100% in my bedroom, just all the time, bathroom, all the time. But in The Sims, I am free. Because it's not my naked body that people are seeing. And like I said, probably you wouldn't, I don't know if I would play with this house on this lot. So on this lot, and like if you were in real life, like you definitely wouldn't want this situated here because your neighbor would be right here beside you, like fully looking in at you taking a shower. But it's not real life, so who cares? Anyways, and then out here, just in case you wanted a tub situation, she's a real free spirit. You know, she's like showering, people could see her, and she's in a tub outside, fully outside with, you know, some little bars here, and, you know, people are fishing, be like, hey, what's up, girl? You know, it's cool. It's fine. It's The Sims. And then, of course, a nice little plant. And then I had like, this is the only time I think I've ever used this. I think it's super cute. The Improbable Ottoman. Oh, it's expensive. But anyways, yeah, that is it in its entirety. I think I've gone over everything. I hope so anyways. I tried to get, you know, out here creative with like the terrain paint and stuff, but I don't know. It is a little bare at the back. Just keep in mind that it just like this part alone, I think took like, don't laugh at me, but it took like 3 hours or something redonk like that. So by the time I got to the outside, I was just like, I don't care anymore. Just be done. Which is sad because the greenhouse probably would have been like my favoriteest thing to make. Anyways, that's all I have. If you stuck around till this point, thank you so much. It actually really means a lot. And I hope wherever you are that you're having a good day. And hopefully I will see you on the next one. Oh, she's being so good. You changed your position too, didn't you? Doop, 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 doop. No, they're so good, Coco. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.